Are we ready to go?
Christopher! Katie!
I know where we can go. I know where we can go. And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again.
Hit that thumbs up as you're rolling in. Please and thank you.
I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. 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 Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. We'll kiss the sky goodnight.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you all are well out there. Today is August 7th, 2024, 10:39 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. How are my sweet teacups out there? Speaking of teacups, I want to thank Baby Kisses, my sweet Baby Kisses, for becoming a teacup. Thank you so much. I want to thank Samantha for the Cash App as well. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate it. How are you all doing this late? I was really bored. Aw, yay, good. Hey, Nana, good to see you. Um, thank you, bless mom. Thank you, Patty. Thank you all. Thank you all. So over here, it's a little more casual, and we want to do. I was planning on kind of doing some work for Clutch Them Pearls channel, and I thought, well, we can do it together. Becky Nay, thank you so much, my dear, for becoming a teacup. Thank you, love. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Trying valerian tea for my first time tonight. Valerian tea will calm you down. It calms the spirit, calms the soul. I've drank valerian tea. It's very good. All right. Hi, Summer. Hi, Summer, how you doing, honey? How you doing? You doing okay? Are you out of the hospital? Hope you're doing okay, honey. You went to Stockholm, Estelle. That's amazing. Returning to South Africa on Sunday. Hope you had a joyous time. Really do. Hi, April T. Did any of you guys hear anything from Nick Barris from Channel 5 News that's been following Sebastian's missing? Say something this week about law enforcement saying KCP and KP aren't suspect. I heard it from Don B. They never said that they weren't suspects. No. He said they were vetted. However, he quickly took that down. He quickly took that down. I think it was a impulsive, emotional decision, which we all make. Sometimes I'm glad he took it down. Uh, oh, 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 oh. But I wasn't even planning on speaking about this, but I pulled it up earlier. Might as well talk on it for a second. Let's see here. I'll let you do it this way. Okay, bizarre update in case of missing Tennessee teen Sebastian Rogers as mother makes frightening claims against YouTuber. Yes, the Daily Mail UK has picked up the story on Bullhorn Bedra herself. I think it's BS, really, but I mean, you think there's more things going on in the world, but the mother of an autistic teen who vanished from a trace from her Tennessee home has accused a YouTube sleuth for threatening her safety. Andrea Griffin, known to followers as Bullhorn Betty, has been investigating the baffling disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, 15, who was reported missing from his Hendersonville home on February 26th. She threatens us and posts live while driving by her home, Proudfoot said. She threatens us and posts live while driving by our home. Now, again, Betty and I have our differences on a lot, but I don't see. I mean, she drove by once and she was putting out flyers. And to be honest with you, I don't think flyers was really needed in the neighborhood, but I digress. She quote, she is dangerous and is threatening my and my family's safety and telling her followers to help and do the same, end quote. Hey, Lolo. And here is Betty in a shirt that says silence is an answer to outside the laundries. Here is the proud feet and thousands of police and volunteers help in the search for Sebastian after he vanished in the middle of the night nearly 6 months ago. He was last seen by his mom going to bed after he had been taken out the trash the night before he vanished. His mother has claimed that she heard a quote noise end quote coming from his bedroom that night. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep, end quote. She said 6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school Monday morning, and that's when he wasn't there. I think it's interesting that quote right there when when Katie says, I went to wake him up 6 o'clock Monday morning. Well, obviously it was Monday morning if you went to bed Sunday night. I think everything happened on Sunday, in my opinion. Absolutely think something happened Sunday before midnight. What do you guys think? In March, eerie footage from the back of the house from Sebastian disappeared was released, revealing 2 light sources far away and another one closer to the house. Officials still have not been able to determine if one of the light sources was Sebastian. Don't think it was Sebastian running back toward the house, but they believe the footage suggests a second person was outside the house that night. There had to have been a second person because a one pulled up in a car. The case has attracted nationwide interest rather, and an army of quote true crime end quote interest sleuths offering their theories on the disappearance, including Griffin, who has nearly 200,000 followers online, maybe from TikTok. That's easy to get on TikTok, but not YouTube. Anyway, Sumner County Sheriff's officers say there is no evidence of foul play and that the case remains open. But Griffin claims Sebastian's parents are not telling the truth about his disappearance. And they just go in, poor Seth, bless his heart. Sebastian and his puppies. Katie Princess as hell near showed up for Sebastian in almost 6 months. And this, what a crock of shit. I agree. From the restaurant. See, I don't think anything happened on the way home from the restaurant. I don't think there was enough time. I just don't think there was enough time personally. But a lot of people do. A lot of people were with you, troopers. Hello, Justin Mods, everyone. I was wondering if you're going to talk about Vinny P interview with Seth. We did a little bit earlier. I have a with her doing all the drama BS, but I can't be bothered advocating for her son. Right. It's weird. It's really, really weird. I would love to, it'd be nice to hear from Katie about her son. That's what would be nice. Oh, you broke your pinky toe, Tasha? Yeah, but like it's easy to get followers. It's a lot easier to get followers on TikTok than it is YouTube, so I think that's where they were maybe combining. That's Betty C Star. That's who it is. Yeah, breaking a pinky toe. Did you hit it on like the side of something? Ouch. Um, so what I thought we could do, if you're up for it, yeah, why wouldn't you search for your missing son? Good question. I think it's that she's fighting someone that may not agree with, you know, what she says, but she was putting up flyers and stuff. And like I always say, I don't, again, when it comes to Betty, we certainly have our differences, but for someone advocating and putting out flyers and stuff, like that part of it, I don't understand. I don't understand how you're saying someone's stalking you and literally threatening your life for when she's been there once. I don't know. Some people just, I think when it comes to Betty, I think sometimes her message, the delivery of her message isn't the greatest, just to be honest with you. Justin, just a thought. She said that she's in fear. Angie's arrest in the family. Well, that's about Sebastian, not about not being on that PO. Remember, he's considered a runaway in her eyes. Said she's in fear. Angie's arrest in the fam. Oh, I don't understand what you mean. Speech tech sucks. Okay. I was like, I don't know what you mean there. That judge tomorrow can ask his own questions about, and that's right. And that's right. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's going to go good for Betty tomorrow because she's not going to be there. And if she's not there, I don't think it's going to go good for her. I really don't. I think she should have went. My understanding is that BHB was on a public road putting up. Yes. What happened in court? I haven't heard. Well, she was on a public roads putting up flyers. Now, again, things happen whenever you're not live. I don't know if something happened while she wasn't live or whatever, but to me, it seems to me that if anyone has followed people around, it's been the Bowerfoots. You know what I mean? It seems like it's them that's been the ones following people around. Oh, I never thought about that. That might work. Yeah, I hope Betty is there in one, I don't think it's met the I don't think the you know again, unless I miss something on her lives or whatever, I don't think she's done enough, even hardly, to get a restraining order. I mean, like, or a protection order. By having an opinion on what, you know, based upon things that they have said, we have seen, or we have learned, that doesn't make you threatening their life, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. Peace, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Now, I still don't understand how people think that Seth is involved. That is something I don't understand. I don't even remotely understand how an ex that he wasn't married to, or I don't even think anything really long term, has anything to do with Sebastian. I think it's just content for some of these people. Katie lives with it. Yeah. Oh, I don't think she's afraid at all. I don't think I don't think Katie or Chris or any of them are afraid at all. Um, if you're afraid of someone, you don't get behind their car, sit and wait in a parking lot, um, until a police officer leaves. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's I don't know. I really don't know. It's crazy. It makes you wonder if the PFs and Bowerfoots are, oh God, I hope not, Tasha. That would be terrible. Shenanigans happening during Lore Lodge videos. Hmm. No, Betty did not get served because she was out of town. Um, Many are pushing them to go. I really believe that as well, reality. I do believe that as well. I think Betty rubs people the wrong way. And I think that in itself is probably what it's, mostly about. Um, why do the 6 and feet stop searches? If BHP wasn't served, the judge can't do anything but reschedule. Mm, has she been? She hasn't been served yet. She's not home yet. What is Katie going to do? Turn on the crocodile tears? Yeah, probably. Probably. Um, most of the people that hate her know nothing about her. Yeah, I mean, with when it comes to Betty, people either love her or they really don't. It's seems to be one way or another. But the thing is, she's done a lot, putting out signs and getting the message out, and uh also, you know, Seth is, you know, they're friendly. So um you got one side of, the parents of Sebastian's parents saying, "She's my friend, thank you for the help." And then you have, the Bowerfoot saying, I'm in fear for my life. Um, but notice how Chris is doing none of it. Like he is not nothing. Crickets. Crickets. Wonder why could it be because he has actually legit threatened people? What do y'all think? Do you think that's the reason he's staying out of it, or do you think it's his job? Um, or what? Artificial intelligence got it wrong again. It says you're talking about Katie and Chris Powell. You know something? I just started getting the AI where it shows it on my YouTube. Everyone's had it. A lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people's had it for so long and couldn't, nothing. Yes. Yes, he is out of town. He is out of town. But he wasn't out of town whenever Betty was there. So there's that. The AI summaries never get it. They never get it. Chris could be threatening Seth with evidence of Seth's time with Katie before she was. I don't know about any really of that. Mine just started with the AI. Child custody with Nina. The next summary said Katie was on trial. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, right? All right. So there's some things that I wanted to create. Let me see if I can open this. I wanted to create a kind of maybe a flow chart, if you will, or a common denominator, and maybe how they link up. I hope I don't get too wrong one. On how they link up in the Sebastian Rogers case is going. Personally, I don't what Seth did with KP where Sebastian, or when we want to know where Sebastian is. Thank you, Lori. KP is no little scaredy girl. I mean, she was in the Navy, for God's sakes. You know, I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't. I mean, does any? I mean, regardless of how you feel about Betty, does anyone actually think Katie is scared? And the whatever the feet are, whatever their name is, does anyone think that? Hello, Deanna. Yes, guys, please hit that thumbs up. That would have to be Katie to go after Seth if true. I kind of wonder that myself. I kind of wonder if it's Katie that is, because she's maybe really pissed at Seth. And I wonder if because Betty is close to Seth, or Seth talks, to a few of us out there. And do you think it's just because, like, she's afraid Seth might tell her stuff. Yeah, most people don't think she's scared. Most people don't think she's scared. But I tell you, this wasn't what I meant to pop up. But I will say this should definitely be something that whoever was in these flashlights and driving that car on the night of, or rather in the early morning hours of February 26th, 2024, in my opinion, those people are the ones that should be scared, whoever they are. Don't you think? Because I think law enforcement knows a hell of a lot more than they are telling us. They did not want this video to get out 1 second. They did not want this video to get out, people. And that, in my opinion, is why they wanted Seth to think. I don't know what they showed him, but they wanted him to believe that this was a trash truck, in my opinion. Because early on, you know, you see these lights coming out from behind the property. Katie and Chris says nothing to see here. Nothing. Misty Moonlight, thank you, my dear, for becoming a teacup. Thank you so much. Welcome to the tea party. Thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate you. They should all be working as a unit if there's nothing to hide, in my opinion. Katie is not allowed to speak to Seth one-on-one, allegedly. That's right. Trash trucks are required by Tennessee law to have flashing caution lights. I mean, it's apparent. It's apparent. Where's Misty? Well, we got Misty Moonlight, but is Misty Fisher here? Is she still here? Running late. Janelle. Janelle's running late. I can't deal with it. Janelle, to the office, please. Janelle, get your teacup and come to the office. Come on. She is no wimp, and yet she allows Chris to rule over her and her child. She is a weak human being, morally speaking. Yep, I agree. I agree. I don't think she's as meek as she tries to come off. Oh, I don't either. I don't either. We were listening something the other day. I can't remember what it was, but it was Katie. It was Chris on the phone or on a panel somewhere, and you could hear Katie talking in the back. You're eating supper? Nom, 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 delicioso. Good. Eating a late supper? Well, it could be early where you're at. Tells you it is not a trash truck. Yeah, I mean trash trucks trash trucks everywhere. They all look the same pretty much. They all look the same. What was it? She's very young in mind. That's what she said about Sebastian. He might be 15 years old, but he's very young in mind. Not according to people that knew him. People that knew him says he was just like anybody else. And yeah, you could hear her yelling in the background. All right, let's get to it. So at the end of the day, I want the chat. I want you guys to use 1, 2 words max on what you think the reasoning, in your opinion, that you are allowed to have, think the motive or what happened to Sebastian. That can be snapped, CPS, court hearing related. What else do we have? Walked away, or anything else. Let's hear it. And it can be anything else more than what I said, of course. Custody, CPS, ultimatum, premeditated plan. But Misty, like, what is the, like, what's the motive slash well, you already said that. So what would be the motive? Like, why, in your opinion, would it be pre-planned? Revenge, snapped, CPS custody, CPS snapped, OD, ultimatum, CPS in custody, secrets, find Summer said, toss, defective. Really? Fine accident, ultimatum. Hey, Holly. How are you, my loves? He just trying to become a member. It looks like I might have been charged twice and still not. I keep getting an error. It says you're a member, my dear. That's probably why. You're already a member. CPS discovering mistreatment. Chris said him or Sebastian. Okay. KP cheating. Carried out. Faith custody. C hate anger. SA accusation. KP divorced. Okay. Lots of different. Yeah, if you see like a little green $ by your name, that means you're a member. Whether you have purchased a, I think CP feels like that, not normal, manly enough. Yeah. Interesting. Chris made an ultimatum. Katie wanted to Seth in a way he would never get over. Now that is what we call filicide, right? Filicide is whenever a parental figure unalives a child because of many different reasons. Many different reasons. One can be one of the main reasons is they want to get back at usually their husband or their wife, their ex, something to that effect. 3 is a crowd. CPS encompasses court cases, and CP's fury, Sebastian thinking he could put him out on. Let's talk about that for a minute, actually. Let's talk about that for a minute. But first, I need to thank my sweet Drew. Thank you so much, my dear Drew. Really do appreciate you. Thank you. Holly, thank you, honey bunny, for gifting 5 teacups. Thank you so very much, my dear. Love you to pieces. If you received one of those teacups from our dear Holly, please give her a big thank you. Very sweet. I think CP had to stay away because of CPS, and I think Katie was frustrated and snapped on Sebastian. Just my opinion. I've thought about that myself, Gigi. I have thought about that myself. Motive to have custody of Faith means had access to a dark neighborhood, knew where cameras were, opportunity alone with Sebastian all night. Having custody of Faith means had access to a dark neighborhood. I don't understand that part. Knew where cameras were. I mean, I know that part, but what is it? Having faith means had access to a dark neighborhood. That part I don't understand. In my opinion, humble opinion, they were scared if Sebastian had therapy and he would spill all the info about CP and possibly KP. Again, in my humble opinion. Barbara, I've heard that before as well. Hold on. I said that I wanted to talk about something before, and I'm looking for that comment again. Who made that comment that I said I was going to? Well, let's talk about it. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Okay, you know what I have thought about as well? Let's say, for instance, that you know how in that photo that we see Sebastian at, where is it? It's not Costco. We see him at Costco. And Sebastian's got like a bruise right here. A bruise right here. Like, I think it's on his neck, right? Let's again, we have no idea, but theory speaking here. I don't, and this is not my main theory at all, but for the sake of a conversation, there was that bruise. For the sake of conversation here, let's say in this theory that Chris, Katie, Sebastian was at the poker party on Friday. Sebastian got into something he wasn't supposed to get into. CP was allegedly enraged, right, in this theory. Thank you, Misty. It enraged him. Whatever he saw, found out, or knew. They went home, right? Sunday night happens. Were they afraid that he was going to go to school the next day and say, look at the bruise? Look at the bruise. I saw this on a laptop. I learned this on a laptop. And something happened. We know that people with autism, right? Yeah, it is optimism shirt on. Yes. People with, like autism, they can't lie, right? They spill things out. Spill it, right? They're going to tell you everything, right? How was your day? And they'll usually, if they're comfortable with you, they will tell you every single thing, every single step that happened in that day. Especially, it was the comment of making Chris stay away for his home. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thoughts on that? Butterflies, thank you so much, my dear. I think KP didn't want to give Sebastian to Seth. Was it butterflies in your opinion? Are you saying it's I would Katie would rather have something happen than give Sebastian? Or are you saying she would rather put him away rather than giving Sebastian to Seth? I wondered that too, Gigi. Right? Was it just such a good weekend because they knew in this theory, not a fact, theory, that he was going to go Monday and say something? Could something have happened, that he saw, that he found out, that he knew, regardless of the bruise? CBS would have spoke to Sebastian at the school first, then go to the home to speak with the parents. Yeah. Can't say out loud that KP too hero looking. Seth, in my opinion, does not want to accept the truth. Seth can't say out loud that KP did something or that KP is responsible. Seth has. Well, I think Katie Of course I like you, Black Skies. Of course I do. You just always write that. I mean, I really like you. I don't know why you think that, but I just can't answer everybody in chat all the time. It's sorry. I mean, we've gone over this before. I like everybody. I like something about everybody. At least I try to. Seth, unfortunately, in my opinion, can't bring himself. I already read that. Sorry. Um, it's been 6 months. Why isn't KP doing a press conference begging people to keep looking for her son? Because, in my opinion, they want this to all go away. Everything to go away. Right? Yes, I've been saying that all along. I think he heard and saw something, but KP didn't. Funny, Marlena. Perhaps, right? Perhaps. In my opinion, KP couldn't get Shin settled down. Altercation got violent. He hit his head. She panicked because of CPS reports. Very, very possible, Teresa. Very, very possible. I wonder if something happened. They say that they hear Sebastian's Katie, she always says she hears like Sebastian's thud right around what, 10 o'clock? Is it about 10 o'clock or something like that? In most of her stories. Misty, thank you so much, my dear. The 226 dates for me. The fact they didn't want the flashlight video to be leaked. Bauer Sox, Proudfoot, deep ties to influential folks in the area, county, state. In my opinion, it's a cover up in progress. Interesting, Misty. Now, let me make myself clear on this. I think, in my opinion, Sebastian was removed from the house around 3 a.m. on the 26th. But I think when something happened to him was before midnight, in my opinion. CP is lying and acting like law enforcement is telling him things. They're not going to tell him a damn thing. Nothing. If CP keeps saying that crap, then he thinks we're going to believe it. Listen. CP, I mean, the two of them have been, in my opinion, untruthful about a lot of stuff, or deceptive about how they word things as well. Just like police word things many times as well. I believe she didn't get up and check, so she can say, I really don't know. She knows, but technically she's not lying. Well, but this is the thing. I think personally, he probably just didn't, he wasn't going to bed. I think because this is what you hear in all of Katie's stories. It's the theme, right? It's the common denominator that has really not changed in her story. And I think that's important, in my opinion. It is go to bed. I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to bed, right? Did you fall off the bed and hurt your head or whatever? No, mom, I'm fine, or, something to that effect, whatever. It's go to bed, 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 right? That's the common theme in her story. So I think, and to hear if hold on. Just wants to know if you have videos KP recently posted of Sebastian. I don't. Is it on YouTube? In one of his, I told him to go to bed. He did. And then kind of nervously laughs. Why laugh there? It's very odd because he didn't actually go to bed, maybe. Nervous because she's lying. I think she wanted him to go to bed. Right? But it's hard for a 15-year-old to go to bed at 8:30 and 9:00. Right? She said he went to bed when she told him to. Yeah. Yeah. I told him to go to bed. He did. She does that little weird thing. And then, so Seth has said this. One second, y'all. Seth has said, Sebastian didn't like to stay up, right? Like to stay up late. And this is very, I don't have the article pulled up, but it's one of the first things Sumner County Emergency Management Ken something said, and it's in the article. The parents say he's kind of a night owl. Does anyone remember that? The parents say he's kind of a night owl and he likes to stay up late. You remember it? It is what it is? Yep. Okay. Well, why did they stop saying that? Oh, in April? Insomnia is common on the spectrum. Insomnia is common, period, nowadays, Why did they stop saying that? So, were they even giving his sleep meds at home? That's what I don't understand. They did stop saying that. Yet she gives him green tea that absorbs. But that is always well, yeah. And SF talks about Chris telling him Sebastian was exhibiting cocooning behaviors prior to disappearing. Hold on. No. What is cocooning behaviors? I'm looking this up. I don't know what cocooning. He would go into people's cars and sleep. What are you talking about, Ian? Like hiding in small spaces? I mean, well, that's new information. If that's your no reason why Katie laughed after. Perhaps, perhaps, absolutely, perhaps. Thank you, Jamette. Thank you so much, my love. Good to see you. CP said he thought he could report stuff and it would keep out. CP said he thought he could report stuff and it would keep out of my home. He goes to Seth and feels free to talk about what was going on in his house. He didn't want Sebastian there for his daughter coming. It was already arranged. CP said he thought he could report stuff and it would keep out. Like, what do you mean? Like, he goes to Seth and feels free to talk about what was going on. Like, Chris goes to Seth. Yes, because they were always talking about, Chris would say, oh, is Sebastian acting up? How's he doing? Is he being good? He didn't want Sebastian there for his daughter coming in. It was already arranged. Well, and that's the thing, Jamette. Like, when it comes to this moving in with Seth, right? Why? What was the one reason, y'all? What was the reason why he was moving in with Seth? One word. One or two words. Tell me, in your opinion, the one or two words that you believe or the cause. Jeanette, thank you. CP said Sebastian could report stuff at school and keep him. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yes. He said Sebastian thinks he can report stuff at school and get me kicked out of my house. Daughter, Faith, Buse, Faith, sister, CP. Faith, Chris DHS. Daughter, Chris didn't want him. Faith, summer vacation, says little Lulu. Chris. Well, that's not why he was moving, was because of summer vacation. If that's what you mean. Tori, Faith, Chris. SA, Faith, CP, jealousy, Faith, abuse, F, CPS. So, that is, I think, the majority of people believe that it is because of his daughter wanting her to come in, right? Or CPS, right? So I think it's, or it could be, one more than the other. It could be, combination of both. I think you were onto something, Justin, about the lights going off in the house when at the time she would still be on the sofa studying, falling asleep. Bingo. Talking to CP, zero timeline, never match up. That's right. Yep. One second. Yeah, I mean, she would still be. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. It just does not. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't fit. Why can't Sebastian be around Faith? Okay, so if you remember on Pascal's, if you remember, Sebastian got in trouble at school. He was doing some inappropriate things, allegedly at school. Right? As in, you guys remember what I'm talking about? I don't even like to say it. He wasn't allowed at his home and he couldn't take it anymore. I think on the 28th or the 26th, I can't remember which one, if CPS was there and they came back on the 5th, he was allegedly like in the bathroom, you show me yours, I'll show me, that kind of thing. I don't even like to say it. Exposing himself. But, children have, every child is different, right? And just because a child is doing something doesn't mean you get rid of them, right? Except, in my opinion, that's why Chris was speaking to Seth and trying to get him to live with Seth. Indy Simranina was served to appear for CP was working hard to get his daughter. Yes. Mental evaluation. Yep. Now, I wonder if CPS came there the 26th or the 28th of January and they came back again or was notified in some way that Chris may not be, this is just hypothetical theory. If Chris could not, Chris would need to move out of the house while they were doing their discovery, trying to figure out what they call it as the alleged perpetrator. That's what CPS calls it, the alleged perpetrator. Right. And yeah, it was on Pascal's where Seth said it, that they was, doing that. But and the 5th is when Chris left, or there was there a big fight on the 5th with Katie and Chris? Is that when everything blew up and Chris and Katie are on the rocks due to Chris is just fed up with everything, fed up with the CPS thing, just ready to, he said Sebastian thought he was going to get me kicked out of my own house. Well, yeah, an ultimatum. Why won't Chris say, well, in some interviews, you'll ask him, he'll say, I wasn't home since the 5th. And then other interviews, he'll say, I can't tell you. And he is very involved in a movement to end free speech online. Who is? The guy has. Oh, I don't want to talk about that, Elisa. I don't want to talk about. Nope. I don't want to talk about anyone negative, like that. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to, because then they're like, I think it's crazy. What does he listens? Hold on. Let me just find does anyone know a timestamp for when he said that in Nancy Grace? Chris, the way he answers Nancy Grace. Proudfoot. Does anyone know the timestamp about that? Because it's very interesting the way the way he answers the question, he's double talking. He's double talking in this. It's at the beginning.
Out, you went to dinner.
Let me find it real quick.
Yes, I'm very familiar with some. Leave you keep for your other daughter. Is that
It's
Faith's bedroom and away from your master bedroom? Is that correct?
Yes.
I think it's up here.
Do you have a Ring doorbell cam? I understand. At midnight when you went to bed, what did you do until midnight?
I had been reading a chapter that I needed to, and I had been talking to my husband on the phone. I was falling asleep on him, so that's when he told me it was around midnight. He told me to go ahead and put the dogs up and go to bed.
One
And
second.
that's what I did. I got
Let me
up, put
find
the
it.
dogs where they sleep, and then I myself went to bed.
Or light or lights on the outside of your house?
Not most.
Um,
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe
Camera info were on. What, if anything, they may have caught, but I understand.
Maybe I passed it up.
You, Mr. Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, did you also go to bed at midnight? You, Mr.
Maybe it's
Proudfoot,
right here.
trying to find out more about that night. Do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
he wasn't actually in the home at all that weekend. Christopher
You were
wasn't.
not home.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So where were you, Mr. Proudfoot?
I was in Memphis, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
And what were you doing in Memphis?
Hey, can someone? Okay. People say that if you, I don't know if it was, I think it was Siri. If you ask Siri how far, wherever the hell Chris was, to Hendersonville, does it actually say 3 hours and 37 minutes? And I mean, please don't answer it unless you have asked it yourself. He Googled that on MapQuest trip tick. I think it's right here. I'm pretty sure it's right here.
Working.
Where do you work?
I'm currently working, or was working, at the St. Jude Children's Hospital construction project.
Yes, I'm very familiar with St. Jude's. You said you were working there. Are you no longer working there?
Where's the transcript?
Right now, that's up in the air.
Well,
It's
you've
gotta be
been
right here.
gone ever since Sebastian went missing. So I understand. When you are home, do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a 3-bedroom home?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is your room as it relates to Sebastian's room?
It's on the opposite end of the house. The master bedroom's on one side, and the other 2 bedrooms are on the other side of the house.
Okay, so your master bedroom is on one side of the house and Sebastian's room is on the other side of the house. Is that correct?
Does anyone
Um,
have a timestamp?
Is that Faith? Is your other daughter named Faith?
Yes, ma'am.
Away from your master bed. Sebastian's is on ground floor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything at all? About
Ma'am.
Do you have a Ring doorbell cam?
Okay.
Nothing.
No.
No, ma'am.
Does anyone else have a
I'm pretty
key
sure
to
it's-
your home beside your immediate family?
No.
No, ma'am.
No one has a key to the home except Chris and Katie. Not even Sebastian. I Googled it and it gives 3 routes and the current travel time per traffic. I'm looking for when he says he hadn't been home since the 3rd, or sorry, the 5th of February.
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
Were there any lights outside the house on at all?
Just my little solar lights that we have in the garden.
There's
Yep.
2 lights on the side of the house
Oh,
above the
thank you,
garage that are on
Tristan.
at all times.
Oh yeah, those
Look
are
what-
on.
Oh, there's a
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. That little weasel. Three hours and 38 minutes. Close enough, right? They say, ma'am. That little weasel. Oh my God. I can't. Y'all are so funny. Well, that's, just a minute difference. I mean, the others might say 3 hours and 37. I'm looking for
The light above the garage is on
it doesn't. I mean, yeah, that's
at all times. Your previous interviews.
I want to find.
Question regarding your vehicles. Miss Proudfoot, what make and model do you drive?
Okay, it might be after
I
this.
drive
Might be after this.
a
In the garage or outside the garage that night, Miss Proudfoot?
Because we don't have permission from her work. We don't have permission from
Van blocked in the garage. And outside, house doors?
the regular door. Yes, ma'am.
Do you lock your doors? It said he was not a quote wanderer. Well, then from where?
That's what we were hoping that neighborhood ring.
Gotcha. Where do you go to school?
North.
Thud. You stated that you said, look, I don't care what you're doing in there, go to bed. Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, Bubba, did you fall out of the bed? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep.
So you heard his voice at 10.
Well, let's think of it like this. If he was planning something, right? If he was planning to go out, right? Let's say he was planning to walk out on his own, right? 20-minute mark. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. If he was planning to walk out on his own and she heard a thud, how does he not know the deep? For a man who tows RV trailers, how does he? I mean, I know a lot about like brands of cars and stuff like that, but I don't know a lot about cars, like how to fix them or anything. And I know every single year of my car. But let's go what's going on in chat? She said so many different things. Hey, Kimchi, good to see you, honey. She said so many things different. Yeah. But let's say that he was planning to go out on his own. The thud, you would think he would be like moving stuff or packing stuff. Something to, that effect, the thud. But he didn't take anything. Thank you, Sandy. I think we found it. 20 minutes and 30 seconds. The thud could be faked. I think something like a thud happened. I think that's when we get into CPs going out of town. Thank you so much, Danielle. If in a can't take anything if you're not alive and taking things. Yeah.
PM.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not know.
We're almost at 20 minutes anyways.
If he were to go out his window, what would he step on?
I agree.
Mulch and bushes.
I think whatever happened to Sebastian, it is from here up. The thud Something is
Did you say mulch or mush?
Mulch.
Mulch.
Mulch. Okay. Got it. Has he ever gone out the window before?
No, ma'am.
Is his room on the front of the house or the back of the house?
Front.
Front. Do any of your neighbors' ring cams point toward your house? Could they pick that up?
They do, but it's so dark that they can only see it after it gets so dark at night. They can only see certain things where there's light.
that is untrue. That is untrue. You know, and I know those things. You can stick it in a black room, and it will see through those. I've showed you guys that before.
I thought there were the two lights on.
On the opposite side of the house.
Okay. Can we talk about
I've covered it.
Sebastian's shoes?
I've covered it, Chicky.
Why are you convinced Sebastian left without shoes on? Or are you?
No moonlight. It was at 90. It was almost a full moon that night. 97% illuminated. Don says, Justin, something I've never heard an explanation for. He wouldn't leave by back door. He didn't like the noise. Was there a door alarm chime? What the heck? I've never heard their reasoning. I think the door made a sound. That's the way I took it, but they've never specifically said, but I think the door like made a squeaking sound or something whenever it was opened. Right now it's pitch black in my chicken coop. I can watch a clear video anytime. Exactly. I mean, those I forgot the technology that they use. It's shit, I can't think of it right now. But it doesn't matter if it's pitch black. A should agree. Yeah. Yeah, she packed a little backpack. Infrared. Yeah, they use infrared and they use another technology I can't think of. And they combine them, and it does not matter if it is pitch black. It's not color, but everything's like a greenish white and black, and it's very clear. Very, very clear. Yes, it makes it look virtually daylight. Virtually daylight.
Well, the reason that came about is because all of his shoes are accounted
almost
for
there.
inside the house still.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
Hold on.
That is because all of his shoes are accounted for inside the house still.
Let me go back a little bit.
They do, but it's so dark that they can only see it after it gets so dark at night. They can only see certain things where there's light.
I thought there were the two lights on.
On the opposite side of the house.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Can we talk about Sebastian's shoes? Why are you convinced Sebastian left without shoes on? Or are you?
Well, the reason that came about is because all of his shoes are accounted for inside the house still.
I think someone forgot the shoes, in my opinion, and it wasn't Sebastian, in my opinion. They don't know guts. Yeah. Exactly, Sandwich. Yeah. That is what I believe. 1,000%. That's why they shut the garage lights off. Which someone forgot the shoes, and it wasn't Sebastian. You go in the house. What's the first thing you do? You kick off your shoes. Sebastian went to his room, right? Yes, Teresa. And something happened. Hey, Lily. Something happened. You freak out. I think Seth or the police or one of them walked in. The first thing, because Seth said he walked in the door and he saw his shoes. Well, why is his shoes here? He must have forgot his shoes. He must have forgot his shoes. That was another big up, if you ask me. They could have really used. I mean, they still, Lisa, they still use the narrative, right? As he allegedly ran away. But not having the shoes, not having the scent, not having him on camera anywhere, but having some flashlights and a car pull up at 3 a.m. And it's not working so well. Okay, we're almost there.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
How do you know what clothes he was wearing?
The clothes that we described are the ones I saw him in when he went to bed.
The clothes it would have been smarter if they just said it just had another pair. Well, but I don't think she could have said that because Katie and Seth split everything, like shoes and all that. So I think that wouldn't have really worked for her. Justin, Chris told Nancy that Faith's room on the opposite end of the house, so across from Sebastian's. Chris just told Nancy that Faith's room was on the opposite end of the house, so across from Sebastian. Do you mean like on the opposite end of the house of Sebastian's? Because that is not true. They're on the same side. No, bonus room is above the garage on the opposite side. That's closer to Chris and Katie's room. Well, she said that, what did she say? That Sebastian grew like 3 sizes in a month. And she said he went from this size to this in a month. She said, Mom, I can't fit my shoes. And she said, well, I just bought those for you. And he said, I can't fit them. I mean, you can't stay, let's say, for instance, in a size 7 and go to a size 10 in a month, still being in a 7. It doesn't work that way. Mohawk, did you respond? The hallway to Sebastian's room, left to her room, and right. The hallway to Sebastian's room. Another BS story. Okay, I think we're there.
That morning, you woke up at 6 o'clock. Is that the normal time you wake up?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a heavy sleeper?
Off and on.
Do you take any medication at night that would make you sleep?
No, ma'am.
But you heard nothing.
I did not know.
So we know he is alive and well at 10 p.m. At 6 a.m. He's gone. You say he's never left before. Is that right?
Correct. He's never run off before.
And could I confirm, where was his bio dad at the time he went missing?
I believe he was at work in Nashville.
Had there been any family argument or altercation prior to him going missing?
No, ma'am.
No altercation. There had not been anything going in the family. I thought their relationship was on the rocks, y'all. Wasn't their relationships on the rocks? Didn't Sebastian and tell his teacher that stuff and CPS showed up? Jesus.
And Mr. Prophet, when did you leave town?
Here it is.
Early February.
Listen to what he says. Listen how he says it.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct,
Weeks.
ma'am.
Had you visited home since you left?
You said from when I initially left.
See that? See the long pause? The long pause, and now he's going to act confused on a simple question. There was a laugh a day. Big delay in responding. Listen, I'm telling y'all, in my opinion. She asked a simple, listen, Nancy makes her questions clear, precise, and to the point. It's about 20:30. Listen to this again.
Had there been any family argument or altercation
this.
prior to him going missing?
No, ma'am.
And Mr. Prophet, when did you leave town?
Early February.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct,
Weeks.
ma'am.
Had you visited home since you left?
Have you visited home since you left? Okay, let's see how long it takes.
You said from when I initially left.
Oh, I just heard something there. Look at there. Did you hear someone coughing? Did you hear it?
You said from when I initially left. You said from when I initially left.
Watch Chris's eye go there too.
Had you visited home since you left?
You said from when I initially left.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th, the morning I was told that he was missing.
Yes. Somebody was there because those two wasn't coughing. Okay. It might be a 2020 or 2016, maybe something like that. Had you visited home since he had left? He doesn't answer the question. You see what he does? You see what he does? Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th. She didn't ask that. She did not ask that. He's not telling a lie right there because he did visit home February 26th. Do you get what I'm saying? How he works. That's how he works. He's not technically lying there. Did you visit home since, Mother Chicken? Since. Did you visit home during the time? Yes, Mama Socks is coughing. She certainly is. Here we go. An attorney would have stopped that interview. They were burying themselves. Oh, he totally. Watch.
He's
Watch this.
Gone.
where
Hold on.
So
Watch,
prior
watch
to
his
him
eyes.
going
Watch
missing.
his eyes too. He's
No,
gonna
ma'am.
glance.
And Mr. Prophet, when did you leave town?
early February.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct,
Weeks.
ma'am.
Had you visited home since you left?
You said from when I initially left.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th. The morning I was told that he was missing.
That wasn't how she asked it. That's not how she asked it, y'all. Did you visit home anytime between then? She elbowed him? Did she? I don't know. Let's see.
Early February.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct,
Weeks.
ma'am.
Had you visited home since you left?
She might elbowed him right there. I don't know.
You said from when I initially left.
Yes.
Yes,
Watch
ma'am. I came home February 26th. The morning I was told that he was missing.
It's the body language.
From the time that you left for the job in Memphis to February 26th, did you visit the home?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I was home. I can't give exact dates.
See what he does? See what he does? Right there, people. Right there. She just asked him, and in my opinion, Nancy knew. And Chris just said, I came home the morning he was missing. She answered it. She asked it again. Right? I can't give the exact dates. You can't give the exact dates when your ass was at your house. You cannot give the exact dates. The mortgage that you pay to your beautiful home, I might add. What? Listen to this. This always has been very telling to me.
Law enforcement has told me not to provide exact dates.
Law enforcement told him that he cannot give exact dates to when he was at home, days, weeks before Sebastian would have even thought about going missing. Thank you, Mohawk. They will never, ever, ever, ever advise you on what to say. And I bet you right there, in my opinion, law enforcement's ears went like this. They perked up real quick. Sammy G, I bet I would. It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. I bet you law enforcement or lawyer. Exactly. Nashville. Exactly. Oh, you changed you changed your screen name. I just now noticed that. Mother Chicken Laws. He might consider his lawyer friend part of law enforcement. Now, listen to this. He's not done.
But I had been home multiple times prior to February.
He has no problem saying I had been home multiple times prior to February. So anytime before early February 5th, you say, been home multiple times. I know, Lolo. It's beyond. It's beyond. You can't say. Law enforcement told you not to say when you was at your own home that literally. Okay. Listen to this. You own your home, Chris, right? You say you were gone in your trailer thingy on the night Sebastian goes missing, right? So why can't you say when you were home days and even weeks before? Bullshit. All right, Nancy's not done.
And then I left early February and then didn't come back till February 26th, the morning he was missing.
So
This is what Chris does, in my opinion. He will if he can avoid, in my opinion, the lie, he will answer it, skip through it the best that he can. And then he will either repeat what was asked or say what's the best way I can say it? He'll say what he wants you to know. So hopefully you will be satisfied with the non-answer, or, in my opinion, deceptive answer, but not a lie. Oh, he definitely deflects. Oh my God. I wish I could interview him too. But he promised me he would interview with me. The day after Smiley.
So you were not home
Listen
from
to
the
this.
time you left early February till Feb 26. Is that right?
Correct, man.
Where were you?
Now listen to that. He just said, this blows my mind. This blows my mind. I wish Nancy would have dug in a little bit harder here. I really do. Because Nancy said, so you were not home. Hold
Where
on.
you
How
living
did she say it?
were not home from the time you left early February till Feb 26. Is that right?
Correct, man.
Okay.
Where were you living in Memphis?
I have an RV trailer that I stay in at an RV park.
RV park. Okay. Following back up on that morning, you searched the home, Miss Proudfoot.
He just said, I can't tell you the days that I was there from about February 5th. That's exactly right. But a minute ago, he said he couldn't share the days. But then he says, nope, I wasn't home. But I can tell you I was home several days in January. He can't say specific days from February 5th to February 26th, but he wasn't home? What the hell is he talking about? It shouldn't be this complicated. Mhm. It's weird, isn't it? You can't say the days. Huh. Uh-huh. He will not answer when the CPS worker came either. Of course he won't. Maybe allegedly January 26th or 28th. What I also find interesting is something that I found out is I think, in my opinion, a fight happened, not a fight, an argument rather, happened on February 5th for could be CPS related, may not be. Chris left then, and there were lines disconnected. Phone lines were disconnected. A home line and 2 cell phone lines. Isn't that odd to you that the day after Chris says he was not home anymore, that some cell phone lines were disconnected? The incident happened on a weekday, and Chris was there for CPS to show up at a mealtime, so he was not at St. Jude Project. The incident happened on a weekday, and Chris was there for CPS to show up at a meal time, so he was not at St. Jude's Project. Yeah. Yes. Can't just get things from CPS. The hands could be sweating. Yes. Information that home line was disconnected and 2 cell phones might have been connected, but I'm pretty sure it was disconnected. Allegedly, I'll just say. You mean he didn't take wife out for Valentine's Day? Right? So what did they do for Valentine's Day? What did you do for Valentine's Day? I mean, Chris, you didn't drive 3 hours to your beautiful wife and, wine her and dine her. Come on. Come on, people. We're going to listen to that thing fully through now. Watch him. You're going to hear a delay, and then you're going to hear Chris do a non-answer, and then he's re-asked the question again, and he says, when you ask him the tough ass questions, the answers is always, law enforcement has told me that I cannot disclose that. At the poker night, that might have been when everyone got together, just like the timestamp on the I didn't see that, but Seth had Sebastian after school on the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th. In my opinion, if he didn't have anything to do with this case, he would have been long gone by now, in my opinion. I agree.
6 a.m. He's
Listen.
gone. You say he's never left before. Is that right?
Correct. He's never run off before.
And could I confirm, where was his bio dad at the time he went missing?
I believe he was at work in Nashville.
Had there been any family argument or altercation prior to him going missing?
No, ma'am.
And Mr. Proudfoot, when did you leave town?
Early February.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct,
Weeks.
ma'am.
Answers that fine.
Had you visited home since you left?
You said from when I initially left?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th, the morning I was told that he was missing.
From the time that you left for the job in Memphis to February 26th, did you visit the home?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I was home. I can't give exact dates. Law enforcement has told me not to provide exact dates, but I had been home multiple times prior to February. And then I left early February and then didn't come back till February 26th, the morning he was missing.
So you were not home from the time you left early February till Feb 26. Is that right?
Correct, ma'am.
Where were you living in Memphis?
I have an RV trailer that I stay in at an RV park.
I think he probably parked his truck right over there where the new development was and walked to his house when he wanted to visit, in my opinion, allegedly from after February 5th up until February 26th when he came home. That's my opinion. There is, if oh 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 guys, help me out here. Help me out. When Seth was supposed to have Sebastian that weekend, right? But it changed. Right? That's it. It changed. Seth was supposed to have Sebastian that weekend. It changed. Chris would come home, in my opinion, on the weekend whenever Sebastian was at Seth's. He was supposed to come home that weekend, and the plans changed. The plans changed. And he came home anyway. And in my opinion, this is where it ties back. Chris says, Sebastian thought he was going to get me kicked out of my house. He made me look so horrible. Chris came home anyway. Sebastian said, "You're not supposed to be here. I'm telling tomorrow whenever I get to school." Fucking it. Katie heard a thud. Katie heard a thud. She sure did. She sure did. She did. That's exactly. I'm telling y'all. Wouldn't Sebastian be scared to say that to Chris? Apparently not. He's I'm in my PG voice. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you. I've said before that Sebastian, but I thought he would tell like I can see him, but it was that weekend that switched. It was that weekend that switched. You know what? Katie may have even said, listen, listen. Katie may have even said, go to your room and don't come out. Don't come out, right? It's time for bed. Ooh. Oh, God. Oh, God. Katie could have said, go to your room. Don't come out. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's why there was no shower, no nothing. She wanted Chris home. Chris wanted to be home. Sebastian was supposed to be asleep. Did she give him too much medication? Did she give him too much medication? Or did she say, listen, did she have a good weekend with him? Kumbaya, all of that, take him out to dinner. Son, we've had a good weekend. I know you're tired. Go to bed, do whatever you want. He stuck his head out. Was his vehicle left at Cousin D's? And they went in her car home after the poker game. I see, I can't, I'm not, I mean, I do speak about the poker game and stuff, but that is one thing I have no idea about. That is, and again, I love Terry Lynn, love her and appreciate her, but I haven't, that's information that she's gave out. I have not been able to confirm that. So in my theory, I'm just a little, but you know, we've always thought that 8:30 or 9 o'clock, 8:30 or 9 o'clock is very early for a 15-year-old, right? That's it. That's it. Yep. I think he stayed there because listen, there was talks before they even ever came on the internet. Okay, never mind. I can't say that. But there's that he may had allegedly said that he was going to stay, he would have to get up very early Sunday morning to be at work Monday. I don't know. What about the call? I wonder if they were on the phone for a while. I mean, Sunday morning, yeah. I wonder if they were on the phone a while and they were talking, but he wasn't in the place he said. They did talk a while. They was waiting maybe for him to go to sleep. The phones were connected to each other, provide an alibi of his location. The phones were connected to each other, provide an alibi of his locations. 3 hours is exactly the time he needed to drive to home. Yes. They do all have VoIP lines, every single one of them. Sorry, my mind's going, I'm not very good. And my mind's just Yes, Mohawk. I think he was going there to see his woman, right? You know what I mean? But things got out of hand. Oh, listen, that's exactly right. We would have heard it. We would have seen it. He has slipped so many times by, I mean, he has been the mouthpiece. People's like, well, it's just because, that's he's the man of the house. I don't give a shit if you're the man of the house, the woman of the house, whoever. If you weren't there, don't speak for someone in a child's missing case. And Chris told Katie to kennel the dogs. Put the dogs up. Get them off the bed. I don't want them sleeping with me. That's why the dogs were kenneled. That's why the dogs were kenneled. Otherwise, Katie slept with the dogs. Chris and Katie have both slipped up and said that. Put the dogs up. We would have heard Sebastian go out the window. Do we think allegedly they knew Weber? All the cameras in the neighborhood are because he's been sneaking in and out for there so long. Well, I can tell you this. I can tell you this. That Chris says he was asked, well, why does law enforcement want Sunday and even Saturdays? That's something I can't. Law enforcement has told me not to speak about. Just like he says, law enforcement told him not to speak about when he may or may not have been home Friday, or sorry, in February. Law enforcement is not going to tell you that is something that you can or cannot speak about. That is absolute BS. And I can tell you, that law enforcement did. Yes, Mish. Law enforcement did take all day, and I've told you guys this before, all day Saturday and all day Sunday in that neighborhood. Well, yeah, Mohawk, a lot of them they did take. What did Connie say? Jeanette, thank you so much for becoming a teacup, my dear. Thank you so much. The phones were connected. His was in RV for an alibi. He told Katie to hang up. Why he couldn't? He's 3 hours from his phone. That's another thing that's interesting. See, sometimes y'all say stuff and it just makes me pop. One of the questions that was asked to Chris was, Chris, when you were talking to Katie, when you were speaking to Katie, what were you doing? Were you moving around? Were you walking? Do you let the phone sit? Yeah, but I'm not talking about what Katie was doing, what Chris was doing. Did you go somewhere? Were you in a car? Were you laying in bed? And he didn't answer it. He said something ridiculous. I've got the text somewhere. I need to dig that out. Did he say laying in bed? Was that what it was? Phone didn't move. How interesting. How interesting. Damn, people. Chris never mentions the thud or the conversation. Yet he claims he was on the phone with Katie. They FaceTime on Messenger video calls. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if we could just get Katie to talk to law enforcement, to talk to Seth, to talk to anybody, even if they gave her a deal at this point, even if they gave her a deal, she would say, she would tell, this is her son. That's what's alleged, Sandra. That's why Katie won't speak. That's why Chris, in my opinion, went back. Oh my God. Back to get the RV very quickly. It was less. He went missing on Monday, y'all. Tuesday was the first full day of Sebastian going missing. Wednesday is the 17 hours. They were looking for a child that had autism in the very first few days. That's exactly right, Lisa. That's the only ones. That's the only ones that they would cover for. If that one was involved, in my opinion. If there is foul play, that was the worst mistake. That's what I'm saying, JJ Johnson. Truth sleuth. One second, y'all. Just give me 1 second. That's right. That's right, True Seeker. Um, Chris was already mad, like True Seeker just said, that in my opinion, in this theory that we're talking about. Opinions, hypotheses, and theory. That he was already mad that that Sebastian wasn't with his father that weekend. He had messed up, in this theory, Chris's plans. Wow. That would be 2 weeks he wasn't home. 2 weekends. Yep. Yep. He had ruined the plans for CP. I think Sebastian mouthed off. School was the next day as well. Pop. She heard a thud. She did hear a thud. The lights went out. Who was standing at the kitchen or living room area? This is Yep. What time did those lights go out? What time did those lights go out? What time did those lights go out? And I mean the ones at the garage. The first story was 11:30. But everything after that has been 10. Starflower, thank you so very much, my dear. Thank you so very much. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm just like right now. My mind's going at 90 miles an hour. Thank you so much, Starflower. I really do appreciate it for your support. Nancy, thank you so much for your support, my friend. Really do appreciate it. And thank you so much, Jeanette. Justin, crane operators know exactly where they are pouring concrete. They set the steel. He was at work 2 full hours before the crew. Think about why you can't. See, I don't think so. Personally, Jeanette. I know that. I'm going to need to take a blood pressure pill in a minute. I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. I don't think he would have cared about going and getting that motorhome. Cameras all over the work site as well. And there's that. Ammonia chemical used to make lugs. Yeah, that was from you reported when and the cranes at St. Jude's were not active till sometimes after 7 and 7:30. Yeah. There was urgency about getting that. He called his ex upset. Chris, I need to call and tell my attorney that, well, we have court next week. There's someone missing from your house. There's not going to be court next week. Sure did. Holy shit. You just got me thinking. His camper, his RV, was not at the place it is now, or where it was. I don't know. He was at a different campsite, wasn't he? Need some water. His truck going to give him away unless family picked him up. The site's number changed. I don't know what that means, Mohawk. Holy shit, people. This is fucking wild. Seth wants. I know he does, Elisa. That's how we do it, sweet tea. What was it called? Easy or Easy Park Campground? No, of course, Elisa. Hold on, I'm getting something. Yeah, the RV seemed to be more important than being home with Katie as her child was missing than to spend the night the RV. Hold on, I'm getting. Danielle, you're telling me I don't know how I'm going to sleep either. What's the address? Easy Days RV Park. Easy Days. There we go. The address is 536 West East Ross Pikeway. Google Earth. I think I've showed this before, but I want to look around it now. I think Mr. Silver on the scene needs to, but you know, that still doesn't get us any closer in where Sebastian might be. I always thought CP Dad worked with, they do. That's what they do. That's true. To know the where, we got to know the how. Now, I'll be honest with you. I kind of now think one second, y'all. We've got to find out, guys. So tech to look behind walls in the house. Yeah. He moved to a different campsite 20 minutes, a few minutes down the road. Why? Why? Now they will say, oh, Jeanette, thank you so much, honey. That is so generous of you. So generous of you, my dear. I've been quiet, but I'm a retired director of operations at San Antonio. Really? I've worked cases like this. The phone call makes sense for alibi. This makes the timeline fit. Finally, I was also director of Bexar County 911. Also, if called 911, it would exact GPS coordinates. That is precisely the reason why there was no 911 call. That's very generous of you, Jamet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Very sweet of you. Thank you. I feel like we're getting somewhere, though. I think we're getting somewhere. Everybody was giving them one spot to another. Yes. You see if what's the quote? Let me find it. The quote. Bear with me 1 second. What one man can invent, another can discover. Right? If they, meaning whoever did the crime of any crime, if they can invent the crime and think about their alibi or make an alibi and where they're going to put it, we can equally think that. Except there's a lot more of our minds than there are of theirs. Play someone called TBI and talk to them about the campground situation. Sebastian. No, I don't think he's too easy. seen at Worsham's, and now we know both Kathy and Terry have been seen on video driving that vehicle. Thank you, Jiggy. He claims he moved. That's very generous of you. Thank you again, my dear, for that generous gift. Justin, I wish I had known this when we were searching down there. That doesn't necessarily mean he's down. I think he's more likely down there, and I think that's the reason he hasn't been found. But then I also wonder about the Mississippi River. Remember, I used to say to you guys all the time, there's a reason. Yeah, I mean, I have a subscriber who one of their family members was unalived, and it took them, they were thrown in a river, and it took 60 days for them to find. So I don't think that necessarily, but it's still in the back of my mind. But what I think is the reason he hasn't been found is I believe he's down there somewhere. I do. I think this is why the Bauer paninis. Let me see if I still got it pulled up. 1 second. Give me a second. JLR did this video. It's not JLR that posted this, but credit goes to JLR. There. Look at there. Look at there. Watch them little weasels. Watch them. Watch the little weasels. There they go. Looky there. Looky there. Looky there.
Where's Sebastian? Do you know?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. JLR Investigates. We're out here covering the case of missing Sebastian. Do you know where Sebastian is? Hello, sir. I know that you just came out of the Proudfoot's home. Do you know where Sebastian is? All right, so we got some car chasing me, and I'm on a public road. So we'll see.
Look in the socks.
We'll see. So what in the world's going on here?
Now tell me, they were right there. Right there. At the corner. Can we see it again, please? Sure. Look, JLR is just driving away. Minding his own business. The same spot. Look at that. Now, respectfully, I do not believe for 1 second, for 1 second, that if this were, in my opinion, just on Katie, they would be doing this. In my opinion. Look at all the sensors on her vehicle. What do you mean all the sensors? Oh, well, they've got it's got the QX80 has the intelligent what's the word I'm looking for? Intelligent. I'm not intelligent enough to think of it right now. In cruise control. The adaptive cruise control. And it keeps you in your lane. Like when it knows, it's like mine does now, but like when it goes to the white line, it more or less steers you over. It literally won't let you go over it unless you hit the signal on. They would not do this for Katie, but they would do it for who, in your opinion? You know how we've always said CP would have left a long time ago? He has no loyalty to anyone. Guys, we're getting it, in my opinion.
Where's Sebastian? Do you know?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. JLR Investigates. We're out here covering the case of missing Sebastian. Do you know where Sebastian is? Hello, sir. I know that you just came out of the Profwitz home. Do you know where Sebastian is? All right, so we got some car chasing me. And I'm on a public road.
This is what they did to JLR. This is what they did to Dolly, allegedly. This is what they allegedly did to a lot of people. Why? Why, when you are looking for someone's grandson, when you are looking for someone's son, when you are putting up flyers, right? Now, listen. Thank you, Ida. Thank you so much, my dear. Oh, Jamette, I'm so sorry, honey. Could I email you with my reasons? 27 years of this, I can catch things. Absolutely, please. Please do call me or text me or email me. She just told him to be quiet and get in the car. Y'all. She does, Erica. Yeah, she does. Thank you, Ruby Slippers. That's how these study sessions go, don't they? Someone put screwdrivers through Terry Lynn's. Yep. They sure don't like to film, right? Exactly. Damn, y'all. Damn. I know. You know, I know Terry Lynn gets a lot of crap, and Silver on the Scene is now getting it. And even Betty. And I understand why Betty gets some of her crap, but I always try to be fair when it comes to each. I don't try to, just because, you know, Betty was sour puss to me and left me an awful couple messages and told me to correct my behavior, doesn't mean I can't appreciate the good that she does. And I appreciate anyone putting out flyers. I appreciate Terry searching. I appreciate Silver on the Scene searching. I think Betty is off on a lot of things. I don't think many times her attitude gets her very far. But I think what I don't think that I have seen that she's threatened someone's life. In fact, I remember right after Bauer's foot went right through that red light, she said, "We don't have to resort to violence like the others," or something like that. I listen, I love Betty too. I mean, Betty, I've been out with Betty, I've been out with JLR, been out with Dolly, all of them. I appreciate the passion that Betty has, and she's very passionate about this case, as we all are. Um, I just try to be right, Sandwich. I agree. I agree. She owes Justin and two oth well, I mean, I think, you know, um, Betty was mad that night, at, when Seth, came up on there and was talking about Trevor, and again, you guys know I have defended Seth, never wavered, not even once about Seth. Never once about Seth. But I was furious at him the night he said those things about Trevor. And because Trevor is a good person. You just don't really get better than Trevor. And a lot of people, um Trevor, uh if someone says something about Trevor and he hears it, he'll go right in to that chat room and he'll want to have a conversation. He wants to know, why this is going on. Like, why do you feel this way about, he wants to understand. And I think, that can be misread sometimes. But I'm telling you, Trevor is an extremely caring soul when it comes to victims. And I think that Seth took it out on the wrong person. I still think, I mean, I think he was probably obviously under a lot of stress. It's no excuse for the behavior, but it is, it is what it is. And I was mad at Seth that night for doing that to Trevor. Um, because I mean, I haven't talked to Trevor in a while, but like there's two people, there's two creators like I will defend, defend, and one is Josh and one is Trevor. And Trevor's not even here on YouTube anymore because I know their hearts. I know them outside of YouTube. Um And I'm like that with Chris McDonough too, of course. But and that's the next morning I get a really nasty message from Betty, and she's like, the thing that really aggravated me more about Betty that night was I just got a message and it was just done. Done. It wasn't, can we talk about what happened last night? And I think that's and I'm really trying to offer healthy criticism here. I'm not saying this as a jerk, as an asshole, as a lot of people are just being jerks and assholes because they don't like someone. But I think the problem that night or the next morning when Betty gave me that message is she didn't try to understand, or she didn't try to hear me out. She unmodded me. She deleted me from every group that she had. She left every group I had, and she told me to unmod her. So I know a lot of you absolutely love Betty, and I love who you love. That's the last thing for me. But she should have and told me, instead of to hear say something arrogant like correct my behavior and we'll see things where things go. I think she should have said, can you help me understand about what you were feeling last night, why you felt this way. She immediately thought that, because truthfully, a lot of people on YouTube, you're all or nothing, right? You do one simple mistake, you are done. You are the most awful person. You are this, you are that, feed them to the wolves. I'm not that person. I honestly try to take things as they are. We're all redeemable, I would like to think. If God says so, I think, we're all redeemable at some point, almost all of us. She doesn't, Teresa. She doesn't like anybody disagreeing with her. And this is the thing. Nobody likes anyone disagreeing with them. However, if you're an intelligent person, you should be open to hearing. You don't have to agree with them that they're right, but you should be open to hearing their suggestion, and maybe it will change your mind, maybe it won't. Right? Maybe it'll change your mind, maybe it won't. Right? I think overall they're good, Bogey. I think, again, for me, I always say, for Betty, in my opinion, it's not her messaging, it's her delivery. And how she delivers it. Yeah, thank you, troopers. Intelligent people are open to hearing someone's I'm always open to hearing to someone's criticism, especially if they come to me privately. And if you're like on here trashing someone to filth for a click or a view, or to gain subs because you're trashing a person, those people do not wish anything on you other than to gain off of you, really. Uh, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who genuinely want to understand why you feel this way, what it's about, and might offer you criticism, but be open to hearing the criticism. It doesn't mean you have to change it or you have to believe it, but you don't have to be like, they always put their things, start screaming and wailing and flailing. Um, Now it does, and again, it's, uh, but I don't think that. I mean, I've never seen, and that's why I took up for Betty when it came to her putting flyers out there, because I support anybody putting flyers out. I put an obscene amount of flyers when I was in the Pigeon Forge area, Sevierville, all around there. It would be TC. It would be TC if she would. She's just angry, and that's the thing. Um, she's angry about a lot of things, and I mean, I don't think it's. I think it's frustration. Maybe anger is not the right word. I think it's frustration. I think it's frustration. Yep, her attacks today were horrible. I don't know what she said today, but yeah, it is. Yeah, people calling each other. Uh, yeah. Thank you so much. Low Red, I am so sorry I missed this, my dear. Thank you so much for gifting 5 teacups. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. And Lisa, thank you so much for becoming a teacup. I really do appreciate that, my dear. Thank you, Lil Red. If you received one of those teacups, please thank our beloved Lil Red. Very sweet to me. Thank you so much. And Lisa, welcome to the tea party. Really do appreciate it. Do I think well, and yeah, that is true. I think um I don't think that she deserves all of the, you know, oh, I mean, Nash, like, listen, to be honest with you, I would never go out with, whether we became, you know, more peaceful or not, I would never go out and with a bullhorn with her again. Um, Personally. But to me, it's not even, it just, I don't know. I think, she, I think a lot of people are just, I don't know what, people on YouTube are, oh, I agree. Yeah, she does. She does. But I don't think she deserves all of that either. I think, you know, yeah, yeah, me too, Nash. Uh, would she ever want to bully her? It makes sense. You know, when Betty first came on here, on YouTube. She came on really strong, very, very much to like she is now. She came on very strong, and people, uh, they weren't used to that. You know what I mean? So I think it was she has no filter, right? And but I don't think she deserves everything that, the amount that she gets. I don't, um yeah, Jilly, I mean, listen, I don't like the yelling either from anybody. And it's not just Betty on that. If you are screaming, if you are doing lives of just putting another YouTuber down, or just another person in general down, that hasn't done something with a child, to an animal, to a mental or physical someone with a disability. I mean, some of these people treat, you know, Betty in some ways worse than they do people that do really, really bad things. Really bad things. And they actually have so much disdain for Betty at times that they will take up for the criminal. And that's what I don't understand. And yep, listen, that needs to stop, because I'll tell you something. I think Magnolia is gorgeous, and I love JLR. I've worked with JLR in, on the out before. That's wrong. It's wrong. She shouldn't say stuff like that. You shouldn't sit there and body shame someone. It's wrong. Nobody's 100% right in this situation. And I think that's the problem, is everyone thinks that they're 100% right, and nobody is 100% right on anything. Right? So, absolutely, Magnolia is extraordinarily intelligent. And I'll be honest with you, I think it wasn't, I mean, respectfully, I don't think it was just the thing that, I was mad at Seth that night. I think it was because she knows that I like JLR and Magnolia, and I just, she says unsubscribe from me if you go over there, or if and I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong for anyone to say, uh you can like one person and not be mad at them because of what happened off YouTube. Well, that's bringing the personal on YouTube. You know, you might like Betty because of whatever reason, you might like JLR for whatever reason. So, So she was mad about that too, and I'm just not gonna. She told everyone that today. Yeah. Can you verify the day that that Seth brought Sebastian home? Oh, that's so true, Sandwich. That's so true. That's so true. Um, oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Jamet. Thank you so much. Please email me if you want to chat via phone. We can do that too. Just let me know. Thank you, Sandy. Uh, I heard about that. I don't think that was cool. I think that was wrong. Um, I think sometimes people, especially as creators, there can be people in your ear, and you're funny, Daily. Um, and people just get in their feelings and they post something or they say something, and we've all said something, done something in chat or or whatever. But where's Bogey? Where'd Bogey go? No, I mean, Seth is a listen. Seth is an innocent man. Okay. Someone said bye, Bogey. I was thought you were leaving. Are you leaving, Bogey? Right. Seth is an innocent man. This man was at work. He was supposed to have Sebastian that weekend, but he had to work. He's an innocent father. Nobody has to like him, but he is a grieving father. This had nothing to do with that man. It had nothing to do with him. And there's no way in hell I could sit here and do that to him. There's no way in hell. He has looked for his son continually. He's still doing news interviews. Elisa, I agree. Nicole, I don't think he said not suspects. I think he said vetted. Thank you, Brooke. Well, Lisa, I don't watch him, to be honest with you. That's not one I watch at all. Um, again, not my cup of tea. I watch, honest to God, I don't watch a lot of creators. I don't watch specifically if I don't care for you. I'm not worried about what, you know, I don't do it. Um, it amazes me. I'll tell you something. I noticed a lot of people in the summer wells, especially a lot of creators. A lot of them aren't even here anymore. as creators, when they were doing this with Don and Candace, there was so many people that would go back and forth on Don and Candace. They would say Don and Candace are this. And then they would say they think Don and Candace are that. And then they would think that, I mean, they would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I never went back and forth. Once I pretty much have made a decision, and I'm open to, but before I come out and say like my opinion on something, I'm probably going to try to be pretty versed in it. The truth don't waver, exactly. And the problem is a lot of people who like true crime, they like true crime, and it's not about a person making you feeling a certain way. Feelings are not facts, right? Feelings are not facts. Someone can manipulate you and make you feel like you are, that they would never do anything. They would never, right? But then they have a record or a history behind it that says, they might. They might. And one thing I never did was waver on Don and Candace. I stand where I stand. Over 3 years, I have never, always been open, but with, I know Seth is innocent. I know that. I know that there's some weird things that happened in that neighborhood that night. And we should always be open to change. But the thing is, unless something else presents itself that could change major, where the cases, that could completely change the trajectory of the case, then the things that we know previous still apply. And most people think with their feelings. A lot of creators think with their feelings and not their brain necessarily. Bogey, thank you so very much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Very sweet. Excellent. So thank you. Very sweet. So, creatures of habit. Some people are stuck. Only change behavior is a broken habit. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's, yes, looking for the real answers. And if we look for the real answers, we have to be truthful. Maybe you said it better than I said, C Star. We have to be truthful, not our feelings about that, right? Like, for example, a lot of people don't like Seth, right? So they will do everything that they can find and try to weave it in some way. And they will have this ridiculous argument that is not even, it's this conspiracy theory, really. Right. And if you have, these wild conspiracy theories. It's not an Occam's razor kind of thing, right? The truth is the truth. Whatever happened to Sebastian has already happened, and my feelings are not going to change that. Nobody's feelings are. Guys, this has been an evening. I need to go to bed. So do y'all. We need to go to bed. I want to thank you all for being here. We are going to polish this up more tomorrow. I will be on Clutch Them Pearls tomorrow. We're going to take calls as well. And I'm going to play some of the stuff, probably what we talked about tomorrow on here tonight. My brain, I don't know if I'm going to sleep. My brain is like on fire right now. I think we've got somewhere today. I really do. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you all so very much. Mods, members, Jamet, Lil Red, Lisa, Bogey, Jamet, thank you again so very much. Nancy, Starflower, Girl, Rusty, Misty, Butterflies, Holly, Drew, Misty again, Becky, Baby Kisses. Thank you all so much for your time. Your time is valuable. You could have chosen to be anywhere. You chose to be here. Thank you for that. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be other creators tomorrow that says, "Oh, I got an idea." But they I think this has been an interesting evening. Thank you guys for the kind comments. You heard it here first. All right, guys. Love you. Good night. That's right, Emily. We heard it here first. Thank you. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Good night.